Baby goes live. There we go. We'll wait a moment because I know that YouTube has to catch up to Google Hangouts between the two systems. You wouldn't think so, being that YouTube is owned by Google. I see it going live. Okay, now it should be good. Hi, Olive, how are you? Unmute myself first. Ah, technology. You'll have to let me know if you can hear me well or not. My day was good. It was really good. I woke up feeling a little sick this morning, but after a walk, I felt much better. I've just been having that like slight ick feeling, so hopefully it's gonna go away now. I'm hoping. It can leave anytime. That'd be great. Oh, good. Good. I can be heard. Yes. Which side is she on? Oh, there you are, my dear. Sorry, little girl. Yes, very good. Also, I'm gonna be. Oh, hello, Noah. Hi there. It's bad when my own page is buffering for me, but that's all right. I see me every day. Ah. But yeah, I just really wanted to come online, just chit chat, hang out a little bit. Ah, it just felt like it was time to do a live stream. Time to talk about things that I necessarily can't structure into a video structure, but trying to get myself motivated to start putting together larger projects. I have ADHD. I know a lot of people do. A lot of people have to deal with it in different ways. We both have it, and we both function completely different from one another. And then my husband has it diagnosed since he was a kid. So his methods are even more different from our methods. But a lot of times what will happen to me is I have too many creative projects in mind at once. And so they'll all get blurred together, and then I end up doing a quarter of what I fully intended to do, which is still something, but it's not as much as I wanted to get done. No, I actually got a great video for how to do it. To actually get the live stream on, you just have to like click a little broadcast button, which I had missed at first. A great video on that. That's what I use to get mine going live. I'll have to look for some next time I go to Frankenmuth. Although we might be going to Grand Rapids. So I should look up metaphysical shops in Grand Rapids because I actually never went to any while I was living there. I didn't even want to break my own heart with like dreams and hopes and longings. I missed out on a lot of witchy pagan things in Grand Rapids, but at the time I was still finding myself in my practice. So maybe that was for the best that I wasn't with a ton of people all at once, because I think that would have been overwhelming for my little introverted self. I remember actually stalking. It was like not a person. We probably shouldn't use the word stalking online as much as we do because it does happen a lot, but I was following a group every other Sunday, but I was the only person who could drive in my group of friends. Two of them needed a trip to the church we were all going to at the time, so I couldn't just like ditch them. I couldn't just ditch them and go do my witchy thing. I mean, they probably could have gotten a ride from other church members, but I still felt like that would be a dick move on my part. So I never went to one of those meetings. I wonder if they still get together at some point just to see. It's so strange doing this live, by the way, because there's silence and I'm not very accustomed to silence. I thought about turning on some music in the background, but I was really scared of getting flagged and just do some Southern Gothic music played really low. I don't know yet. Mm. Of guest star Pickle with us today. She's really sleepy because her false heat is over. I don't know if anybody has any recommendations for what to do about false heats. Please let me know because I have two cats who experience it. Groom yourself on camera. That's a good look, Pickle. Bothered if you hadn't touched me. A meetup? Oh, I would love to do a meetup. A lot of fun. I, I've said this before, but there are a few other witches in my town, and at least one pagan. Most of the witches I know in town are Christian witches, and that's because they're all family. She was kind of one of the first people to introduce me to the craft, but it was kind of funny when we were growing up because at the time her family was like, "Oh yes, we're descended from witches, but we don't do any of the crafting stuff." And then something like switched in their brains like around 2008 when we graduated, because all of a sudden then they started bringing out, oh, well, here's like how I would set up my altar if I had one. This is what I do every day for my ritual. And I'm like, you guys were practicing this whole time and you kept telling both of us that you weren't witches. Aren't that good? What was the website? Sorry, there is a delay, so I'm trying to follow chat, but I'm probably gonna get sidetracked and talking about something else. Name of the website. I'm sure I could find it again. I just don't want to be clacking on my keys while I'm trying to talk to you guys. Because I'm a fast typer, but I'm a loud typer. Typer. I was just checking my messenger. My girlfriend and I are usually talking about this time. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Oh, thank you for being so patient with me, Olive. Um, meetup.com. No, I haven't. I will check it out. At least I still can type in the chat. Actually, at work, I've been told that if I'm going to say I'm sorry, I have to do it in a foreign language now because I say it so often. It is a pretty good tip. I can't say that it's not because then you have to think about it before you say it. Yeah, I might check that site out. It's done. I'll probably keep like a little list in my head of all the things I need to check. I've been adding a lot of witchy blogs today. Like I just added Snow Orchids, witchy blog. I did Joey's. I don't know why I wasn't following Joey's for the longest time. Long it took me to start following her blog. I guess I just assume that everybody is like in one space and one space only. Kind of work every and then keep myself focused. Yes, I am liking the new job. Actually, today was my day off, but I got a phone call from one of the factories I applied to. Factories where I live, like Bad X, my town proper, has factories. My husband works at one. The one that called me was in Ubley, which is about a 20-minute drive from here. Same as Pigeon, where I work now. Me for an interview, and I spent like 2 hours angsting over it because I knew that the job had more money, but I really like the job I have right now. And I've said this numerous times. I prefer working with food to anything else. I've done retail. I've done at least like 4 years worth of retail, and I don't want to go back. Um, I've done mostly food other than that. So I actually turned down the interview at the factory because I do like my job so much right now. My girlfriend has noticed like a huge boost in my confidence, and calling her to complain about my jobs anymore. I'm calling because I'm so happy with my jobs. Ghost and all, ghost and all. Yesterday I was alone in the kitchen. Everyone else was having a smoke because there was nobody in the restaurant. And I don't smoke, so generally I just stay in the kitchen because I have no reason to go out there other than to get some fresh air. And I can't really do that when my coworkers are smoking. I have nothing against smokers, by the way. My entire family are smokers. I don't know if it's connected to past life or if Dare actually worked for me, but I've just had no desire to smoke cigarettes, any of that. Um, but I was alone in the shop. Sorry, I had to pause to read. Yeah, no, retail's hell. Nobody likes working retail, and if they say they do, they're lying. They're lying to keep themselves alive. I was alone in the kitchen, and I was checking on the mashed potatoes, and I saw this person walk by me, and I thought it was one of my coworkers. I look up. He is a man in black slacks with an apron tied around him. I didn't zero in on any other feature. He was gone before I could. And then just gone. Like wasn't there anymore. And nobody that I work with wears slacks. Like they all wear jeans or capris or whatever, but they do not wear slacks. Um so I think I might have seen him. It was for just the briefest moment, and I didn't even doubt myself right then. I just knew immediately. Oh, and hello, Aurora. It's wonderful to see you. Oh no. Oh, Kmart. Oh, RIP. We don't have Kmart here anymore. Closed down shortly after we moved into this apartment, so like 4 years ago. Oh my gosh. Sam's Club. That's actually a store I've never been in. You'd think I would be with how big Walmart and all the side stores are. And yes, meat department. I get so excited over meat departments. I worked six. Oh, oh my gosh. Oh, jeez. Okay, not yours. Ah, oh no. See, I feel so silly because I'm sorry, guys. I started laughing because my girlfriend's like, oh. It's like, sorry, I didn't see the fox at the end. You know, my eyes are terrible. Yes, you do tease me over most things, but I can't compare to you and Matt and how you guys go about it. Brutal, y'all. Like her and Matt. I'm sorry, I probably should call him Nidoran, but I'm gonna flub that up every single time, so I'm not even gonna bother. But like they just no holds bar teasing each other. Like if you didn't know who they were and that they were dating, convinced that they just pester each other. But that's how they show their love. So many mats. I had like 6 mats in my graduating class. There are only 100 of us. There should not have been that many mats. Yeah, see, I don't tease him anymore, Tara. I should, but I don't. Because I don't know what to tease him over because he's just so self-assured. You mean myself and my girlfriend, or myself and my husband, or? Oh, okay. Thank you for the clarification. Again, I'm battling the delay. Um, practice together? I don't know, love. Do you really consider what you have a practice, or? Well, while Tara's answering, I'll answer Noah real quick. Pickle got the name Pickle because I, growing up, had always wanted a gray tabby, and I wanted to name her Cucumber. Strongly her. Like I knew I wanted a girl cat, and I wanted to name her Cucumber. Well, Pickle is from a combined litter because all the mama cats took care of all the baby cats. Um, of 21 kittens. Yes, 21 kittens. And Pickle's original name was My Tao because I named all the kittens after my friends' characters from a role play board we had. And I originally wasn't going to adopt Pickle. I was going to adopt a different calico. She was a pastel calico where it's really faded. And I had named her Ressa after a friend's character, like I said. And I was going to adopt her name for us to move. My husband ended up picking the kitten who would come to be our lovely Pickle. And he said, I know you want to name her Cucumber, but I'm going to name her Pickle because that's funnier. So that's how Pickle got her name. Yeah. So that's how Pickle got her name. As for Spud, the calico we have now, She got her name from the fact that when we first brought her home, she was very, very thin, no weight on her. She was flea bitten. Thankfully, the fleas did not contaminate like my other two cats because I use flea medication like not every month, but every season I'll give them a dose, and usually they're good because they're all indoor cats. They don't go outside. Spud, when we had her, we had bought McDonald's. I don't remember if it was the first or second day, but it was really close to the beginning. Ran up to me and literally stole a French fry out of my hands because she was just so white for food, and have to scavenge for anything. So she just ripped it right out of my hand and like ate the whole thing. And then she proceeded to eat at least fries. So that's how Spud got her name because she likes potatoes. To this day, she will still steal any kind of fry on wedges, though. She doesn't like Kentucky Fried style wedges. Oh, so yeah. Spud is a darling. And yeah, Sage is one of the few kittens who got adopted, and she's still very, very loved. Sage got a lot of love. That family, her bad eye was, I guess, a cat STD, believe it or not, and they paid to get her all healed up, and they were perfectly happy with her, and she's still around. Hello, Gargoyle. Wonderful to see you. I was so happy to see you earlier, Gargoyle, because it had been so long. Ah, we're just talking about my cats. My cats, the army of cats that I had to wrangle. Like the only, I'm trying to think. Blaze is still there, and so is Muppet, but the other ones have kind of scattered to the winds. Oh, I'm so glad. I know that's one thing that always breaks my heart, though, is the amount of wild stray cats where I live, because most people don't bother to get their animals spayed or neutered where I live. They're just everywhere. Oh yes, Pumpkin's still there. But uh she was from an earlier litter. So it was funny because she would still sneak in and like get milk from the mama cats because there were just so many kittens. I think the mama cats were just overwhelmed and were like, okay, whatever, we'll just be a commune. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, cat stories and ghost stories. I got a lot of both. Yep. Oh. Yes, and I also play with my hands a lot. So if I'm fidgeting, it's not because I'm nervous, it's just how I am. I talk with my hands, I fidget with my hands when I don't know what to do with them. But I have to say, the spirit activity in the apartment has quieted down a lot since I got the dragon's blood and lemongrass. The whole story. No, I haven't. I keep meaning to get to, for those who are watching this after the live stream is posted. Um, My girlfriend just asked if I told the story about when she was here. I don't remember which room we were all in, but it wasn't the living room. And my husband, as a joke, bought a service bell because when I'm reading, I tune out everything else. Like, I don't hear anything. I don't hear the TVs. I don't hear the cats. I don't hear my husband talking to me. So when we were in another room, there was a loud ding, and we all kind of looked at each other anywhere near the bell. And so we knew they weren't the culprit, but it was just the strangest thing that that bell would just go off like it did. Oh, we were in the kitchen. Okay. Yeah. I knew we weren't in the bedroom. I just knew we weren't in the living room either. Ooh, risque, the bedroom. No, not really. It's not that risque. But yes, we were in the kitchen when the bell went ding. I don't know, there was a lot of activity after she visited. Like, she was Skyping with my husband, and there's a chair over this way. And above that chair is a Halloween decoration my brother lovingly gave me. Um, Here, I'll just turn the camera so you guys can see it. So there was that sitting up there. Um, but what was weird is there's no, like, if we want the air to move through the entire apartment, we have to put a fan up in that hallway because the air doesn't circulate properly. Like, it doesn't go through the whole space like it should. So he's Skyping with her and just sitting in his chair. And she sees his hair move. He feels his hair move. And they're both promptly really freaked out. I wasn't home for this. I was at my gas station job at the time. So I was not home when this occurred. Gets swept, and she just freaks out on her end. And I think he said there was like a strong pull. And with that strong pull, like, he just felt like dread, is what I mean. Not like he felt a pull on his shirt or anything, but just this pulling of energy and just like this tenseness. And he gets all freaked out. Yeah, I still don't know what caused that, and he can't tell me either. He just calls that spirit. TJ, my husband, is more sensitive than I am to spirit. He calls it the eighth one because there's 7 shadows that we see that we can't attribute a name to at all. But the 7 are harmless. They don't really antagonize. They're curious, and they can be unintentionally creepy. They just kind of follow us along. The one day, it was in bulk. I was doing a cleansing, and I went to take a shower while the incense was burning in all of the rooms. And I felt myself going into a meditative state, and I could see from the bathroom door, like, into the hallway, and I could see these shadows moving around. And then it switched to a viewpoint from the apartment door where I could see all of them going in different rooms, passing each other. And when they would pass each other, it would get really thick. So you could really see the shadows then. And they weren't like frenzied, but they were definitely curious. They were not understanding exactly what was going on. And then I got the overwhelming feeling of this one figure just standing in the bathroom doorway, like glaring at me or something. But I get out of the shower and I see that my husband has left me a text message, and I pull it up and he's like, "Are you okay?" That is not a message I wanna get from TJ. House cleansing is, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yes, why?" "Well, there's something that's really mad. I don't know what it is, but it's really mad at you." And I said, "Well, I'm sorry that it's mad at me, but I was doing a cleansing." And he goes, "Oh, well, you don't have to worry about the 7. You just have to worry about the 8th one." So that's what I call that spirit now, because we don't know what it is, but we just know that it's kind of out of the shadow people. Oh, jeez. Reading your, story. Yeah. I didn't leave on bad terms because of the people I actually work with on a regular basis. They kind of on the floor. It was management that I was having problems with, and I won't get into that because, quite frankly, they're not worth it. But oh, hello, Autumn. Yeah, exactly. The spirits that show up when someone's about to pass. Working at the assisted living home, they were very specific about calling it assisted living, not nursing home. And I don't know if that's just that particular company or what. But yeah, we would know somebody was getting usually if they were going to have a stroke, not about what are the children going to eat for supper, where are the children going to sleep at bedtime. And it was always children for some reason. And then one of our residents would have a stroke or some other calamity would happen. An incident that sticks out in my mind right now is the one time I was in the dining room. I was going to write on the boards what was for breakfast. There's a resident there who has a dog. They're allowed to have pets. And she has a dog called Sparkles. And Sparkles will weave in between the tables after dinner time for scraps. Yeah, sorry guys. Um, my camera and mic will act up. And the interesting thing, love, is it's been happening like more when I talk about spirit than any other time. Um, so what I'm trying to tell you guys about is how I thought that I was hearing this little dog, which is like a Cocker Spaniel mix, run around the floor. What happened was I looked up because I had bent down to pet them and there was nothing there. And I look up a little bit and I just see this black dog looking at me. And it wasn't a resident's dog because she's the only one who has a dog right now. And it just stares me dead in the eyes. And it's not like the eyes were glowing or anything spooky. Just stares at me and then darts off. About to say whose dog is it goes through the damn wall and just whoop, gone. So I can't see it anymore. And right after that, somebody had a stroke and then she passed away. And it was, I kept that story myself. I didn't tell any of my coworkers. I told Tara, husband, about it, but I didn't tell anybody I worked with about it, including being with us at the time. I didn't tell him because he gets real skeeved out real easy. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna deal with it. It was an interesting experience. I don't know if it was related to deity or, yeah, They always go in threes. Yep, that's for sure. I wasn't even there very long, and you could see the patterns just happening. Yeah, I don't know if that dog was, I think it's Scottish folklore. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. It's either Scottish or Irish folklore where a black hound will appear. A Hecate or a Hecate? Excuse me, Hecate. Um, I know black dogs are like deeply connected to her, but I also know in general they're connected to death. So that was like I knew as soon as I saw it go through the wall what was going to happen. Evening, Bria. Am I saying that right, by the way? Because people mispronounce my name all the time. Not Briarlyn, but my actual birth name. You, Gargoyle. Thank you very much. Yeah, my poor dear. Not those kind of deer that we talked about, but oh, this is a mess now. Oh, hey, Rita. Yes, mushrooms everywhere. The shrooms. It's so weird because I have to lean back, otherwise you guys can't hear me. So I'm kind of squinting to try and read the text. Oh, actually, this is a blanket. Um, I bought it at the evil, evil Walmart, or at least my mom did. She got it for us. Have I ever done any ghost hunting? Um, Not with like equipment. I did once with equipment, and that was during our honeymoon in Gettysburg, which was really awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I I don't know. It's hard to say if we picked up anything because it was like a huge group project. But we definitely felt like in our little group, we definitely felt that we picked up some stuff. And that was such a fun experience. We had Vox, if you know what that is, like it uses radio frequencies. And we got a lot of response out of that. Um, Mostly it was really interesting because where we were at for this ghost hunting, it was the Confederate hospital. It was a bar that was a bar. Well, it had been turned into a bar by the time, present day, but it was originally just a barn. And then during the Battle of Gettysburg, the Confederates took it over as their hospital. And what we actually communicated with the most there was a young boy who was running, supplies to the barn. And it was just so funny because I remember the conversation that I had personally with this spirit because we were on the outskirts of the property and we asked the box if if anyone was there, and we heard this kid's voice, and I can't remember if his name was Johnny or Jimmy. I mean, flack for, oh, it's always the same names. A lot of the times back then you gave multiple children the same name because a lot of times they would pass away, and then you would have another child and you would name them the same thing. So Johnny or Jimmy, we'll just call them Jay for right now. I asked Jay, what are you doing here? This is a battle area. And he says, no, this is a hospital. You're right, you're right. Just going with it. And I said, well, who did you come here with? And he says, my dad and uncle. And it was very clear, my dad and uncle. Okay, if you're here with your dad and uncle, are you helping them? Are you bringing them stuff? And he didn't answer. And then I feel so bad that I don't remember this young man's name, but there was a brother and sister who were a part of this little group with us. And he says, does anybody else smell tobacco? Like, Like my husband smokes, but he didn't have anything lit right then. I asked, well, do you mean him? And we point to TJ, and he's like, no, 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 it's not menthol. So that's what my husband smoked. He's like, no, it smells like pipe tobacco, like really strong pipe tobacco. And I said, Jay, are you smoking? And there's a pause, and then no, and then he wouldn't talk to us anymore. That was it. That was all we could get out of him. And that's really awesome, Maria. Like, I mean, scary, but awesome. And yeah, Olive, I definitely feel like 50% really interested and 50% scared shitless. For sure. Like, that's how I felt the other night when I made this short video and I heard funk on the wall. On the one hand, I was like, yes. On the other hand, I was like, oh crap. What do I do now? Where do I go? I'm already in my bedroom. The only other option is under the covers, and I don't think it's gonna work. My girlfriend's trying to tell me, well, you can always try prayer, right? And I'm just thinking, I don't know who to pray to right now. You call them a ghost harem, dear? Oh, I'll have you know that only Jack Lee Connors has ever approached me and propositioned me for sex. Darn ghosts getting all up in my business. Yeah, that's exactly why I made the video, so I wouldn't feel creeped out. Uh, listen. Listen to what? I always listen to you. What am I listening for? You have to tell me, dear. I'm touching my cheek so I know when it like catches up to me. Yeah. Shush. I am not going to explain how to full boyfriend to the internet. At least not the witch part of the internet. Thank you. It is not my own fault. I thought you were gonna tell me something really deep and serious, and now you're just telling me about Otome games. Uh, oh, geez. But yeah, it is true that I am drawn to the creepy ones in video games and in books. I can't help it. They're the most interesting ones. White bread is fine. White milk toast bread is good, but mm. uh, I need to make a video about characters and how now. Oh, nice, Rita. She would be great for some interesting like imagery. Like you could just have a whole deck of Gaga for sure. Definitely could have a whole tarot deck of Gaga. I mean, she's already got so much of the religious imagery in her videos. Ugh. And also, all my cats have abandoned me. They don't want to be on the live stream, it seems. Stevie Nicks. I'm surprised there's not more of Stevie Nicks in the tarot deck community. Yeah, Gaga was actually the one who started to get me back into pop music. Before that, the only pop music I was into was Aqua. Yeah, Bri didn't participate in the whole NSYNC versus Backstreet Boys. Honestly, if I was made to choose, I always chose 98 Degrees because they were the only ones that I knew I kind of liked listening to. But other than that, it was just Aqua all the time. Aqua, Vitamin C, and the Spice Girls. And I was a little too young to really get into the Spice Girls. Like, I had one cassette, but I didn't fully understand that they were a band. Weird. I know, for shame. Oh, somebody take my 90s kid cards away from me. I'm not allowed to be a 90s kid anymore. This has been a chronic problem where I'm never up to date with pop culture. Yes, cassettes. I fully admit to listening to cassettes. I have no weirdness for that. It was a weird time for teen music. My Aqua stuck with me the way it did was they just took shelter in their audacity and they didn't care what anybody had to say about them. They're from the Netherlands. They didn't care. Was doing they had their own thing. They invented bubblegum pop. Told by Ginger, yeah. Yes, I still have my cassettes too. I still have my Spice Girl one. I still have, oh, what was his name? Done his name. But he was a country singer that I was really into as a kid. Garth Brooks or anything. I'm trying to. Actually, guys, I'm gonna pause for a moment to the restroom. I was trying to hold out, but I can't. So, okay, I'm back. I come back to talking about if I ever find this blanket again, by the way, guys, I will hook you guys up. I will buy like a ton of them and just give them away. Oh, yeah, okay. I wanted to make sure I was back in frame. Computer just kind of like the screen falls back a little bit. And ooh, you did sigils today, Olive? I love sigil artwork. I need to start making some, but I don't know. I just admire other people so much that it's kind of intimidating to try and work on my own. Rita, do you show your art on your channel? I haven't gotten over there yet. I'm sorry. I'm trying to watch everybody, but it gets super overwhelming sometimes because there's so much content. Man, the delay is like really intense. One moment. I'm gonna see if it's just my comp or what. Okay, there. Now I can see myself again. All right, apparently for some reason my computer like went really far back. Probably when I set it down I hit something. Always happens to me. Yeah, it took me a while to realize that sigils didn't have to be like oh crap. It doesn't have to be the same on both sides. Symmetrical, that's the word I was looking for. 2 years of art college and I can't think of the word symmetrical. Yeah. Definitely make a list of people to watch. I've just been subscribing like crazy. And my husband and I share a YouTube account, so he's like, my channel's on here? It's like, yes, dear, there's plenty of your channels on there. But he's more into watching Crunchyroll lately anyway, so that's fine. He just watches YouTube when I'm home. Because he watches really crap harem anime. Like, I'm totally fine with it being crap. I just like to tease him. It's always like the same character archetypes over and over. And the more terrible it is, the more he loves watching it because it's just such like popcorn anime. Sorry if you guys aren't really into anime, but that's kind of my husband are into. And I used to have, oh, I've never brought this up, but when I changed my icon, the icon that I have now, the figure in the middle and then the poisonous plants around him, I know there's Foxglove, Monk's Hood, and I think she also put Belladonna in there. Art piece. It's going to be a tattoo one day. One day it'll be a tattoo. Really hard to find an artist who I feel can do his artwork justice. Actually, I'm going to look up his Tumblr. Sorry, I forgot what the website was called. I'm going to look up his Tumblr really quick for you guys. It is top notch. I love it. Character that he drew in a commission for me. And eventually, bastard is going to end up on one of my thighs. I'm so game for that to happen. What is Konosuba, dear? You'll have to give me a quick plot synopsis because we're together after a while. While I'm looking for this artist that I need to find. Blur is just... I'm sorry, I shouldn't use gendered that, but it's being an asshole. There we go. Everybody's got one of those. Mm-hmm. I really want to show you guys this man's art because it's just so pretty. Echo loves, what are you looking for? Us. Oh, are we gonna play fetch? Okay, we can play fetch. You gotta bring it over here though. Oh, come on. Well, I'm getting really, really sick of Tumblr's lag. Showing a lot of the pictures anymore. Don't have audio. Like this thing was barely held together by strings once upon a time, and now I don't even know what it has. Maybe it's just jammed with sticks. Ah, there's the artist. Complaining about it. And also the reason why I want to show you this artist is because he is working on a tarot deck. Aw, okay. Have a good night, Olive. Thank you for dropping by. It's wonderful to talk to you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've heard of that one. Okay. Chat. But yeah, I think he has watched that actually. It sounds really familiar. If he hasn't watched all of it, he's watched a good chunk. I know the last like harem anime that I really enjoyed that he watched was ReZero. And I can't remember her name, but the one with the blue hair. Best girl. Best girl 5 ever. Forget the silver haired girl, half elf, whatever she is. Messiah. Messiah, she's got white hair. But does white hair rule apply for girls too, or is that only guys? Absolutely no sense to anyone who doesn't watch anime. Yeah. Sorry, just making sure I didn't miss anything. And also sorry if you hear me popping my knuckles. Terrible bad habits. I think only dudes. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Oh. I think in a half hour I'll probably close this up just because this is my first live stream, but I'm also kind of tired. I tried to wake myself up a bit with a bath and it just did the exact opposite of what it usually does. Usually it energizes me up, but now I'm kind of like, ah, okay. Thank you for clarifying that for me, love. The last white haired girl I saw was in Anohana, and well, you and I both know how that ended. With me in tears. That's how that ended. But yeah, I am feeling still pretty tired, pretty lethargic, and kind of icky. I'll probably wake up at midnight and be like, yeah. That seems to happen a lot too. Yeah, you noped out of that one because you saw what was coming, didn't you? I tend to find like the really sad anime and then I'm just like blubbering in the corner. I think that's why I'm not watching as much as I used to. Just I'm too sad. My life needs happiness, not sadness. And witches make me happy. I mean, there's some sad stuff with witchcraft. And it's not all like sunshine and rainbows. Like, I even feel like people who get fluffy bunnies, you know, they've got dark stuff that happens to them too. They have things they have to work through. But overall, like, I feel like the witch community, at least on YouTube, Tumblr, totally different story, but on YouTube, there's like a lot of warmth and acceptance of differences, and that's really cool. Oh, she went down. Oh gosh, you got us started on Captain America. Hope you're ready to be here for the long haul, Gargoyle. I love you, dear. Yeah, see, that's what I get for talking smack about Captain America, which I fall asleep go freaking time. Yeah, I hope you guys didn't expect this to be a super serious chat because that just wasn't gonna happen tonight. I do fall asleep though. I can't help it. That's why when people are like talking about their favorite movies and TV shows, like I'm not trying to be rude if I suddenly cut out of the conversation, but I've got nothing to add to it. The last television show I can remember watching was Dead Files. I think that's the last TV show like I sat down and watched. For those of you watching at a different time, they're talking about Captain America and Team Cap. I don't know. I tried to stay awake for the Thor movies, but I mean, I can only make it through the beginning half, and then I just like conk out because then he's like all in his superhero gear and stuff, and I just don't care. What is it called? Hot like farmers market look. Yeah, that does stuff for me. When it comes to guys. Oh, sorry, I'm laughing because I got a little notification. It was from Rosie Moon May. Am I saying that right? I just want to make sure I'm saying that right because I love her so much. Yes, Rosie Moon May. You. Um, she posted a video today about gardenia incense, which hold of some of that. I love gardenia. It's from Greece. Like, really? It's from Greece? Yes. And that stuff seems to be just what I need to cure these pesky spirits I've been dealing with in my house. Oh, don't bring up Dragon Age. Yes, I will go on for hours and hours. Although not lately. I'm gonna say this because I know she won't watch this video, but Shio kind of killed that for me for a bit. Dragon Age. Damn, I can't talk about it right now anymore without just thinking about her and Solus. I love her. She's a good person, but just gets so fixated and will not leave a topic for months on end. To get real serious for a moment, I have been like drifting away from certain friends. I have been pulling back and just reevaluating my relationships and whether I'm contributing in them because I want to be a part of that relationship or if I'm doing to placate others. Nothing for anybody on YouTube. That's just like in my life off of YouTube process. Yeah, cedar incense might be all right too. I also have to be careful about what TJ can handle and what he can't. I bought some incense sticks from a guy who Frankenmuth, and something about his dip gives TJ a headache. I don't know what it is. None too sure about the smell of those blessing incense sticks you sent me. But that's okay because it keeps him out of the crafting room when I'm in there. I don't mind if my husband comes in while I'm practicing, you guys. A lot of times he'll like barge in right in the middle of a ceremony if I'm trying to do something on the weekend. And he always just stops like halfway through what he's talking about. And he's like, "Oh, you're doing ritual." He's a cutie. Yeah, I am doing some shadow work, friends and relationships. Sorry if you had said that earlier. Got it. But yeah, I've been doing shadow work. Not like super intensive, like cry my eyes out, but I've been addressing it as it comes up. Yeah, so yeah, I've been working a lot on my relationships because in my yearly spread that did come up where I would need to reassess friendship. And I'm cool with that. I knew it needed to be done. It just reaffirmed what I already knew, like that needed to happen. But it's painful because you want to stay relationships, but I don't want to say if they're not serving you because I don't believe any person should have to serve another. But when you're just trying to placate yourself and try and keep a relationship going because you feel that's what is expected of you versus that's something you actually want to pursue, like that makes a lot of problems. And I've really had to pull back from some people. And I know that's such a harsh term to use, cut out, but I had to because we had been friends since I think since we were 12. And I finally had to cut her out because every time I would see her, I would break into tears and I would have like a crisis of identity. My whole life is crap and that I wasn't going anywhere and that I would never amount to anything. And if that's what's happening when you're seeing a person, that's not a friend anymore. And trying to drag me down or anything. It's just our priorities were completely different. Aw. And you're lucky that when this post, nobody else can see your wonderfully mushy, sweet messages. Uh, oh, ouch. Sorry, Gargoyle. It's never a fun time when it happens. You don't really talk about when it comes to friendships and relationships, but yeah. Anything. Aurora Fox, no regrets. I mean, I've faded out on a few people. And it wasn't anything they did, we just didn't jive anymore. Our paths had branched off to the point where we couldn't even see one another. And then there's friends that I have that I can still talk to and just be like, "Oh, hey!" and just start off right where we left. That'd be my waifu. Like, I realized that I hadn't talked to her in 2 months, and then I talked to her for an hour. Things had changed. Our lives had moved on a bit, but our friendship was exactly where we left it. Oh, and hello, Spud. Yes? Are you here to grace us with your little Spuddy presence? She's like, "Don't film me, Mom. I don't want to be filmed." Only time I'm okay with being called Mom when it comes to my cats. Yeah. Yes, I know, Spud. Like, I'll comfort you guys. I'll comfort you. She's a lot more affectionate than when, like, even a year ago, she wasn't this affectionate. She's darling. Yeah. It's never easy. I actually find that harder than, like, relationship struggles. Like, I have had our struggles. My husband and I have had our struggles. But friend struggles, man, that just hits you, like, right here. Like, you just feel your whole heart, like, clench up. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Silver Nova being like, "Every time there's an awkward silence, take a shot." It's like, "Girls, I would be dead. I love you both, but I would be dead." Yeah, she's a pretty kitty. She's real special, though, in the head, just is not all there. Spud is a pretty kitty, but she is not a smart kitty. But with our apartment, um, you don't have to pay if you have cats, you have to pay if you had dogs. And so I just have cats for now. I have a dog. And I know you guys still haven't seen Missy. The one day when I was trying to record, and the sound kept clipping out, and that was in my own bedroom, which was really unsettling. I think the kitty wouldn't watch. Like, I can't get footage of Missy for you guys. I'm sorry, but she does exist. I promise. Hmm. Sorry, I just, like I said, I twitch, I like move all the time, even when I'm talking to somebody who's in the room, I'm just fidgety. Probably part of the ADHD, but thinking, now I need to go get a piece of red calcite. It's like, no, you've got enough stones right now. Just brains. I always swore I wasn't gonna be a crystal witch. It didn't make any sense to me. And then just one day it just like clicked, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need all the pretties. All the pretties. I'm still like my mind is still going back to carnelian. The carnelian I have. I don't know if it's me or if it's the spirits that are really on energies, but They're like, "You should use them. I mean, they're really good for using. You can do so many things with this carnelian." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know I can." Oh goodness, 3 kids? Oh wow. Yeah, wow. And talking about having a kid, and even that's like really daunting. But 3? Oh, but pugs and wiener dogs, yep. Good old standbys for lap dogs. Although I really like the retro pug over the really smooshed face. I forget what it's called, but pugs. I'm like, okay, now that's a pug I would want to get. They look like little soldiers to me. It's so funny. Just like all like staunch up and I don't know. But yeah, on the stone thing, I still can't believe how much I resonated with those carnelian when I picked them up and held them up to the light. Just I felt like an instant connection, and I haven't had that in a long time. And I had like an instant I must have this reaction was my first piece of jasper. Yes, I know pugs fart a lot. That's part of their charm. My mom has this saying that thing. It doesn't matter who you are, farts are funny. I am my mother's daughter in that respect. Like, oh, this is such a highbrow, well-educated chat we have going. I don't think we'll ever be able to get a wiener dog though, just because Gran had a wiener dog, Muttley, and Muttley was her dog, drank out of her coffee cup, would chew on her cigarette butts. It's gross, I'm sorry, but she would. Like, they were like this all the time, together forever. You know, if the Christian heaven exists, which I think for her it does, I think we all go to know when we pass. Um, like, if there is a heaven, they better allow dogs, because I don't think she'd go otherwise if she couldn't have her Muttley. Yes, sparks and crystals. Welcome to the conversation, all everyday quartz. That's a great tool. Like, I just can't seem to find pieces that resonate with me. I've tried numerous times, and just regular quartz and I don't have a connection. They're great spiritual batteries. I love my rose quartz though. And amethyst, I believe, is technically a quartz, right? I have my book around me somewhere, but I'm not going to try and reach down there and grab it. But yeah, like I love my rose quartz. I don't really want another chunk because the one I have just works so damn well. And ever since Arwen said that she like takes baths with them, oh my gosh, my whole life now. I know you have to be careful what stones you put in the bath, but quartz is fine. I know that for a fact. The first time I had the rose quartz and the amethyst in the bath with me when I brought them out, it was like I could hear them singing. And I had never experienced that before, so I was really like super excited about a nice holder like on her channel. And back then I hadn't started making videos yet. Like, uh-huh. She's so wonderfully sweet. Oh yes, black tourmaline is great. They're weird. Like I'm not knocking anybody who likes pearls, but and it's not even how they're made that weirds me out. It's just like valuable and yet And like I know what they're composed of, and I know why they're treated as so valuable because they're so damn fragile. Can't really connect with them on a spiritual level yet. Alexandrite. Is that the one that's like either like green or red, depending on what lighting it's in? Sometimes purple. I'm pausing because I'm waiting for a response before I keep jabbering. Mhm. Oh, okay. Yes, it is that stone. Sorry for the awkward silence, guys. I was seriously curious. Okay. Um, that one would be really cool to get a hold of. I remember seeing in my junior year, actually the same year that I got my tarot deck, it was the same trip. When we were in Washington, D.C., we had enough time to visit. Aw, I'll have to get you some opal, my dear. Once I pay off some bills, we'll hook you up with some opal. But what was I saying? Oh, yes, we could go to one Smithsonian. I went to Natural History. I think that's the one that has the stones in it. Because at the time, I really wanted to see the Hope Diamond. Or strongly remember there was an emerald in there. It had a jaguar around it. It was a ring or a necklace, but I remember a jaguar. Beautiful emerald. Emerald is one of my favorite stones. Yeah, good luck getting your hands on some though. Even the raw stuff's really pricey. Oh, Drew, Mr. Moneybags. Sorry, guys. We probably just that clap probably shook you guys up a little bit, but see that diamond? Yeah, like nobody was around it when I got. I just kind of stared into it. I got lost for a little bit. I still don't fully know what happened when I looked at that diamond. Too impressed by it, but I mean, I lost myself, and that emerald still like sticks out in my mind. Um, I actually I think after that was when I first started collecting stones. Maybe it just triggered something in my head, understanding the energies. But the thing about the Hope Diamond was I didn't feel like the energy I was expecting to. Like I thought I'd get this foreboding energy around it. Real chill being there. But I do remember the emerald, and I remember seeing meteorites, which was really interesting. I'm not going to talk about it here because I want to make a whole video about like the weird alien extraterrestrial type stuff that my dad went through. You have pictures of it, awesome. At the time I didn't have a digital camera, so I just had the crappy like disposable ones. No pictures out of that trip pretty much because my hands are so unsteady. I need that autofocus. Um, so yeah, I didn't have any pictures from that. Because one day I will go back. I mean, I already went back to Gettysburg, and that was on that same trip. So I know I'll get back to the Smithsonian's. I get to see them all. Oh, nice. But yeah, my dad's got really interesting like stories from both when he lived in Detroit and he moved up here. The one when he moved up here like still gives me shivers to think about just because it's so unreal. And to hold like a chunk of meteorite that fell into Detroit. I was really tempted, the crystal shop that I was at in Frankenmuth, they did have little pieces of meteorite, and I was tempted to buy one, think of what I would use it for right then, and I knew that they would probably still be there when I went back. Because what's funny is how they have it all laid out. They've got all these little wood boxes, and in each wood box is like it's like a grid, except for it's not like this kind of pattern. It's just standard squares. Have it all across this table, including right under the shelf part. So it's shadowed, and a lot of people don't pick through that stuff. So I know I'll find them in there underneath. Same with a lot of fossils. Fossils at all, Gargoyle? Because actually my representation on my altar of Earth is a spiral. Think of the name of the fossil itself right at the moment, but I got that up at the farmer's market that they have here in Port Austin. But I just, that's forever going to be my representation of Earth. Like, I felt that way when I first bought it. I feel that way right now. And I feel like I will feel like that in the future. Even if I change up how my altar is, there will always be that fossil. Oh, yeah. But they had really cool, like, little ones when I went there last. And I was so tempted, but I was like, no, I had specific stones in mind that I wanted to get, both for myself and for a sneaky little gift. A friend I've made on here. That's what I really love about YouTube. I've already made so many friends. You guys are all such good, sweet people. Yep, bones and stone. But yeah, I've made such wonderful friendships on here already. Doesn't bloom past like like acquaintances, that's okay. Acquaintances, and you need hard, fast friends, and you can kind of drift in, catch up, and then drift back out again. Yeah, I'm on Facebook. Here, I'll type it in the chat. I don't want to say it out loud. There we go. Not that it's really hard to find me on Facebook, but a whole lot. But I'm starting to now that I've got more witch friends on there. Just keeping up with family and going, oh, okay, somebody had a baby. Oh, okay, those kids are now like, it's really weird, but okay. That's usually what I'm on Facebook for. More into people. Like chit-chatting and stuff. Because I know that's how most people still communicate. They're hipster. I am gesturing at this point. Go ahead. I'm not that thrilling. Usually when I make a post on work, or I'm baking something, or I'm cleaning my house. Those are usually the things I talk about. Trouble. It keeps me out of drama. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry if I'm a little like, okay. I was actually thinking about a friend I had in high school with that same name. Not the one I cut out, by the way. Part right after graduation. And that was okay. I know she's all right. She's got kids. She's happy. Well, we always knew she was going to leave the county because she was just such an urban girl. Stayed in this county as long as she did. That's your life, yeah. Yeah, no, we had drifted apart. Again, I've been doing a lot of shadow work with friends, so it just kind of like stuck out to me like, oh, Okay. Well, another part of the reason why I'm doing all this shadow work with friendships and stuff is because I'm tired of like people I was friends with in the past, like showing up in dreams. Real crummy for a good part of the day because I'm just lost in like the nostalgia and trying to figure out what I did wrong. And a lot of times it's not even that anything was done wrong, it's just how life is. Last dream I had with a friend from high school was just really weird because it was tied with my old job. And then hamsters, because why not? Start shutting down this live stream though, because my voice is starting to go and I'm out of water. So much water, you guys. But yes, I'm gonna close this up. I'm gonna wrap it all up. And I wanted to thank everybody who came by. I know not everybody could stay for the full thing. That's totally cool. I know there's a lot of live streams going on, and also I picked a later time at night. But I will be doing a live stream again soon. Exactly when, because it just kind of depends on how work is going. Like if I had a really rough in a bad way, but I work at a restaurant, it gets busy, things happen. But I will be doing another live stream because I do find these to be so much fun. Standard videos too, where I tell little stories because I like doing those. Those are my favorite ones to do. Guys, all have a good night or day whenever, if you watch this at another time. Yourselves and be good to each other. Bye bye.